Oh, hello, and yeah, hello. It is I, the unworthy seraph, and I am joined again, but also not again, because you haven't been here the past couple of weeks, but Boz is back, and he is upset.
I am upset, guys. This is a week of gaming. We're going to get into it. It's a week.
It's a week of gaming.
It's a week.
Is that what it is?
I'm sorry. It is a week of gaming. I am sorry I have not been here for the past couple of weeks. Definitely had some things. I was also on vacation last week, which I very much needed. But yes, the I'm upset emote. If there is a week to use that,
it's now. Boss is upset.
It is.
He's upset.
This face upset. Why am I upset, Unworthy Seraph?
I mean,
what are some of the topics that we're going to be talking about?
I guess we're just jumping right into them.
No
time to waste, everybody. There's no time. Boz is back and he's ready to get it all out. He's got some venting to do. Let's take a look.
Furious.
Nintendo, are they the bad guy? They upset longtime fans after situations with Etika, Splatoon, and Melee incidents. We're going to talk about all the ins and outs of that. It is a continuation of the free Melee discussion, but also some newer and different developments, but they do not make Nintendo look very good. So we're going to talk about all that. We've got Microsoft cares a little bit more about Smash Bros than Nintendo does, because they just acquired Smash.gg. I can't. Now, to be clear, they do more than just Smash tournaments on that website now. It was originally just for Smash, but they support other tournaments as well, but it's still hilarious. All right. Also, over $300,000 worth of RTX 3090s were stolen out of a factory in China. I'd bet that was not on your 2020 bingo card. But, Boz, what else do we have? What else?
We have Medal of Honor, guys, a game that has not... Guys, if you thought Cold War or Modern Warfare had large downloads, just prepare yourself. Put on your seatbelts and get ready for the seatbelt to be ripped right off of you, because Medal of Honor is going to blow that out of the water. Also, guys, this is kind of an interesting topic that I just threw in there in the last 5 minutes. Developers and new content. Are they actually bringing in new content? I'm going to talk about why I'm upset with developers today and what's going on. PlayStation 5 and a literal brick. Is it actually a brick? It is an interesting story. It's something small, but I thought that was going to be fun. We're going to be talking a little bit about the Game Awards, and we're going to possibly do something special maybe, but we'll see about that. And then finally, guys, we're going to be talking a little bit about Christmas and New Year's, as those are both just around the corner. And we're excited for both of those. So I hope you guys better strap on your seatbelts, because this YokeTalk is going to be lit. Yeah.
Absolutely beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Not skipping a beat after being gone for 2 weeks. It's like we just talk all the time.
You might say we do.
You might say.
Guys, I mean, Unworthy Seraph, he came over my house on Thursday last week. Him, myself, my wife, me and my wife, we baked a delicious ham. We burned the glaze a little bit, but... Well, me and my wife, I said we did. What? But then you came over and we ate that delicious ham, and we watched the final episode of season 5 of Leverage.
And that was so good too.
Listen, I've seen it 3 times now, the final season. I cried.
So good. You did?
I cried. A little bit. I had a tear.
I know Danny was having a hard time.
Well, Danny was bawling her eyes out. Anyways, guys.
All right, anyway.
Let's get into it. Nintendo.
Yes, they're not making a good name for themselves right now. They're not helping themselves at all. So to catch you guys up a little bit on what has been happening, basically there was a Smash Bros tournament called the Big House, and it was doing Super Smash Bros Ultimate and Super Smash Bros Melee tournaments coming up in December, and the Melee tournament was using a mod that worked with emulation of Melee, to allow it to be played online. Very, very important in a COVID world, when physical gatherings are not the greatest idea.
Important.
So basically, this online multiplayer mod is the only way that Melee has been able to stay alive as a competitive esport. And so there have been a few tournaments already using this mod to allow online play for Melee. But Nintendo issued a cease and desist to the Big House for the use of this mod, even though others had been allowed. And basically, the reason why I think, and most people think that is the case, is because most of the other tournaments were Melee only tournaments, whereas this one was a Melee and Ultimate tournament. So they don't want the mod next to their current game that they are selling, which is understandable, but at the same time, really. So anyway, that's what it was. That was a few weeks ago. In recent news, so there was a Splatoon tournament, the official Nintendo Splatoon 2 North America Open tournament, run by Nintendo. It was happening recently, and about 30% of the teams involved in that tournament decided that they were going to change their team names to various things to show support for the Melee community. So they changed their names to things like #FreeMelee, or just added Melee to the end of their name or something like that. 30% of the teams did this.
But Nintendo, Nintendo, they weren't going to take this. They weren't going to take this without going down without a fight.
What did they do, Buzz?
Instead of, just allowing this to happen, they allowed the tournament to happen, but they decided we're no longer going to live stream this event.
And they didn't publicly announce that either, as far as I know. They told the tournament organizers that it wasn't going to be streamed, and then the tournament organizers told everybody else in the Discord that it was being organized in. So Nintendo just quietly canceled the stream for it.
Yeah.
So there's that.
There is that, and then they went a little bit farther and made an even worse name for themselves.
This was less than 24 hours after the Splatoon thing.
Yeah, and you got to think here. Nintendo, listen, they create great games. They've done a lot of good things, but they're making a lot of bad decisions right now. I don't know if it's the changeover of the CEO. What in the world are they doing? But anyways, what is the next thing that they did less than 24 hours after the Splatoon 2 tournament?
Yeah, so basically last year there was a well-known content creator by the name of Etika, who unfortunately committed suicide in the summer of last year. He was a very well-known content creator, did a lot of Nintendo reaction videos. Some people didn't like him because he was really crazy, but a lot of people loved him, loved watching his reaction videos. So what happened recently was people were they basically made Joy-Con skins that were themed around Etika, because he had this meme going about the Joy-Con boys. So that was very personal to him, and they basically made a skin inspired by him and the Joy-Con boys memes, and they were going to put all the proceeds towards a suicide prevention foundation. So really, really great thing. But Nintendo thought not.
They ordered another cease and desist on this, and they decided, and let's be honest here, Nintendo has the right to do this. Mm-hmm. Okay, they could put a cease and desist on anything that people are making that has to do with their branding or anything that has to do with them. I get that. But there's other ways to go about it other than just cease and desisting everything, especially when something like this. All right, so let me put it this way. Nintendo should have already done something like this to do, like somebody that loved Nintendo, was a huge Nintendo fan, was very big on the internet, and then something like suicide or something else happens. Maybe Nintendo should have thought about this in the first place and did something like this where all the proceeds going towards this specific skin of your Switch or your Joy-Cons was going to go to the suicide prevention organization. Unfortunately, they didn't do that. A fan did, and then they ordered a cease and desist on it. And it's like, there's other ways to go about this. Like, you don't, and not only that, not only did they order a cease and desist, they then threatened legally this person with legal threats. It, like I said, you have the ability to do this, and I get that. This is your trademark. There's grace to be found. It's the Christmas season.
It's the Christmas season. We shouldn't have to be talking about this.
I just listen.
Where's the joy, Nintendo? Where's the joy?
Joy. Joy. Nintendo has brought me a lot of joy and Joy-Cons over the years. I'm upset.
This ain't it.
I don't understand what they're trying to do here. And the reason why I say that is because it's not just one thing. Mm-hmm. It was Melee. Okay, whether you agree with it or not. Then it was Splatoon, and people are just saying free Melee, and they're like, all right, let's just not live stream this because it's already public. You're making a bad name for yourselves. Eventually the next console is going to be called Bad Tendo. Like I don't know.
Yeah. It's not good. I mean, like, it's hard to say what their reasoning is. Maybe it's just a simple, they're trying to protect their copyrights. The controllers were using the Joy-Con name, of course. And I guess maybe if you're not like an official Nintendo controller seller or whatever, then you can't do that. I don't know. But easy fix. All right, here's the easy fix. Nintendo reaches out to these people, be like, hey, can we put our name on this so that it's ours, like kind of officially, but like you guys can still do what you're doing, give the money to charity. That's great, but let us put our name on this so we can, protect our copyright or whatever. Then be like, sure, yes, thank you, Nintendo.
Or Nintendo has billions of dollars. You can give a little bit of money to this person and say, we're going to do the same exact thing. You could even do that, but they didn't. They just, it's
there's
tough,
other ways.
Right? It's tough, right? So yes, they have the ability to do this. Should they have gone about it this way? Probably not. But there were other ways to do this other than threatening legally. And essentially, this wouldn't be as big of a story if they didn't do everything before this.
Mm-hmm.
It wouldn't.
It's adding up.
And so I'm not upset with this one story. I'm upset because Nintendo is just making bad decision after bad decision. And I'm wondering where it's coming from, to be completely honest. Like, why are these decisions being made? And we all know Nintendo is a bit of a money grab. Okay. They always have been with Joy-Cons and the prices of those and, reselling games that have been out for 25 years and remastering games. Remaster some of them games that came out 30 years ago, and I'm still paying for Zelda games to this day that I played 30 years ago. But I don't know, this just seems a little bit much to me at this point.
Nintendo has done things like this in the past, particularly with the Smash community. Smash community has a long history, multiple incidents of Nintendo like trying to like really shut them down for whatever reason. There was like a famous Brawl tournament that got canceled one time, and just all sorts of messy things. Usually these incidents are like few and far between, and they're more isolated. But this is a lot back to back.
Let's be honest too. I want to say this, Nintendo, if you're listening right now, if you actually put some time into the Smash community, you'd probably sell more copies of Smash and you would get a lot more revenue if you did something with the Smash community. I'm not a numbers guy. I could be wrong. But let's be completely honest here. It's not the smallest community on the internet. No. There's a large following for Smash. It's one of your highest selling games. Help us. But like, don't harm us.
Here's the thing. Here's a very real example. Okay. Ever since, maybe this isn't Nintendo's fault, but Nintendo's definitely not helping. So ever since COVID started and in-person tournaments have not been a thing. Like I've lost some interest in Smash. I'm gonna be honest. I miss
a lot of people
watching tournaments every Sunday, almost every Sunday. I miss, watching streams and stuff about Smash. Or I mean, they're still there, but I just don't. It's just like it's sad because there's no tournaments and the online isn't great. And so but imagine if Nintendo was just throwing money at Smash and we could have great online tournaments or just great online Melee at least.
And we have some online tournaments. They've still done a few things, but they're not even like the biggest players in the world. Like when was the last time you saw MKLeo go against Mars?
I don't know.
Probably 2018.
I haven't been watching anything.
Honest.
It's online tournaments and they make me sad.
Yes, they do. But, and once again, that's not Nintendo's fault or anything, but I just wish Nintendo had more of a control over this. But speaking of which, that brings us to our next topic. Microsoft is kind of trying to do something about this, not specifically with Smash, but there was...
It's very interesting timing. Because, I'd imagine this has been in the works for at least like a month or so.
Somebody in Microsoft saw the hashtag free Melee, and they were like, guys, I have an idea, and it might sound crazy, but we can acquire this with no issues at all. That's literally what Microsoft did. That's what I feel like. So what's going on with Microsoft?
Yeah. So there's this website called smash.gg, and it was originally made to organize Smash Bros tournaments. But it later expanded into just like a general tournament organization website. So you can host different kinds of tournaments on it, but it originated as a Smash tournament website. And Microsoft has now acquired it, bought it. So they own it now. And it's very interesting. It's very interesting.
So here's my thing, right? Obviously Microsoft has they can't take anything from Smash, right? They just can't. Smash is it's a Nintendo game. It will always be a Nintendo game. But what can they do with online tournaments that Nintendo has already stated they have no dealings with at all? Can Microsoft actually do something with this?
It's interesting because I don't know.
I don't know what they can do.
I don't know like the legal stuffs with it.
I know. Go ahead.
I know that from what I've heard, obviously I was talking earlier, how there's a long history of Nintendo really kind of shooting down the Smash community. And I remember reading there's been a few instances in the past where other organizations have basically come to Nintendo and been like, hey, we want to start like an esports circuit. We want to do like tournaments. We want to just throw money at this and like really make it something. And I don't remember the names of any of those people or any of those organizations. But you can probably find them if you look for the stories. And Nintendo is just like, nah.
Yep.
So I don't think Microsoft could do anything different because they would need Nintendo's permission. Right. Even if they wanted to start throwing money at Smash, that would be really strange of them to do.
It would be, but I'm like wondering, like, Nintendo's got to do something at this point. Like they are like, there's a lot of Nintendo fans out there. Like even myself, I'm reading about these things. I'm a huge Nintendo fan, right? I own every single Nintendo console that has ever been created other than like the Game Boy Pocket. And to replace that, I had a Game Boy Color, right? I literally have Nintendo stuff filling my room. I have amiibos. My Urbosa amiibo doesn't work. Feels bad. Don't know.
Doesn't like it doesn't scan?
Nope. Nintendo fix my robo stuff. But anyways, and they have, Nintendo just does a lot of great things. They develop a lot of great things. But even now, with all of these things happening, I'm like, Nintendo, what is your goal at this point? Yeah. And I don't know.
It's just weird.
It is a very strange set of circumstances. And now Microsoft coming in and saying that they're buying out Smash.gg. Smash. It was created for Smash. Now, there's other games involved. I get that. But this is, I don't know.
It's very strange. Yeah. We're kind of going back to the Nintendo topic a little bit. But like, I do want to say it's
I'm upset about it.
Yes, Boz is upset. But like it's not even just like esports scenes or just Smash or whatever. Like Nintendo just kind of lives in their own little world where like they don't really like see what other companies are doing. Like their whole online system is just like overly complicated for no reason. And like they just do weird things.
Yeah, listen, okay, Nintendo, they have millions of dollars, right? All I wanted to do in Splatoon 2, I don't even own Splatoon 2 anymore. I gave up. I gave up on the game. Do I wish I still had it? To an extent. I couldn't even, me and Unworthy Seraph had it together. You know what we couldn't do together? We couldn't play on the stinking same team when we were in the same lobby.
Unless we're playing ranked. But.
Unless we're playing ranked.
It's like,
what? Why? I don't know.
They do weird things, and I wonder where it all comes from. I would say that it's probably not from the change in CEO.
No, not the internet or anything, but all this stuff.
But like the stuff with the Smash community has been happening for years, long before Iwata passed.
True.
So like, I don't know. I wonder if it's just like the people that actually care about games at Nintendo just make the games, and then they just let their business people like make the business decisions.
It's possible. It's possible. It's just a very strange set of circumstances, and we're going to see as time goes. I'm sure we'll tell you guys a little bit more after Microsoft actually does. They've announced that they're acquiring Smash GG, but after they actually acquire it, is there going to be an actual change inside of the Smash community or other communities? We'll probably talk about it here on a YokeTalk, but we don't know what that means, to be completely honest. Obviously, like we said, Smash is a Nintendo brand. It's always going to be a Nintendo brand, but can Microsoft actually do anything about the online community at that point? I don't know. Those questions cannot be answered yet. So.
In other news, over $300,000 worth of RTX 3090s graphics cards were stolen out of a factory in China.
Yep.
How about that? So there's a reason why, nobody can get their hands on these things, because they were all stolen.
$300,000 worth. Now
it's like 230 cards or something like that.
230 cards.
Yep.
Listen, I used to work for a factory. Okay, it wasn't RTX. Okay, it was a family owned business pretty much, and we had like 300, 400 employees where I used to work. This place was sealed up tight. Like you could not, like alarms would go off because birds would fly through the windows. I'm not even kidding. This actually happened multiple times on a Saturday where somebody from the upstairs place that I worked at left the window open and a bird flew in and alarms would go off. How do you allow a factory of this scale to have something stolen? Now, I understand it happened from the inside.
Yeah, they think it was an inside job.
But even if it's an inside job, I don't know.
230 cars, that's like half of them, right?
Yeah, for real. And these things are big too, right? The 3090s. Oh, yeah. We talked about how these things are like cement blocks, but I don't know. I feel like there had to have been, I don't know. Somebody's scalping
MSI is offering a $100,000 reward for anyone with information that'll lead to the pilfered items. So guys, if if it was your uncle, I mean, not to betray family or anything, but
Listen, $100,000. 100,000. Okay, I'm sorry, but RTX, listen. If you actually want to get these back, okay, if anybody knows about these, they've either had their life threatened or they're in on it. $300,000 and you're going to offer 100,000. Ain't nobody inside of that job going to be like, that's not worth my life. You need to give at least $300,000-$400,000 if you want to figure out who in the world did this and fire everybody from your factory. If you don't do that, because you're not going to figure out who it was in the first place.
MSI is even going as far as offering clemency. I don't know what that word means, but we're going to look it up.
I used to know.
Clemency. Mercy, lenience. Okay. So they're offering mercy to anyone who took part in the scheme, so long as they help track and recover the cargo. So there we go. They're like, hey, we won't hurt you. We won't throw you in jail. Just let us know where the cards are, okay? Thanks.
I feel like this is, I don't know.
Forgiveness.
Okay, yes, there's forgiveness that's there. That's great. But is there going to be forgiveness on the other side of this? Like who, like there's more than one person involved, I feel like.
Forgiveness? I think you mean repentance.
Anyways, getting off of that, but like, if this is a one man job and he just literally drove his truck to his house and just unloaded a couple of pallets and then
what do
just
you do
kept
with them?
on going on.
It's got to be crypto miners. What else do you do with 230 cards? Like, you can't sell them in any like efficient way. You'd have to like sell them super spread out and like
Craigslist. Maybe. Big brain. Okay. Sells like a couple of them just to get by for the next couple of years, right? Let's be honest. They're pretty stinking expensive right now, right? Get by for a couple of years. The new 4080 comes out next year. All right. Or not next year, but like 2 years down the road. With those. Do you know the prices of the past cards on eBay right now? Insanely high. He's just going to wait until the next card comes out, sell these things, make bank.
He would make more now, though.
Probably, but he can't do that right now.
We couldn't do it later either.
Maybe. I mean,
it would still be really suspicious.
They would be suspicious for sure. But I don't know.
But yeah, I think it's got to be crypto miners. Like, what else do you do with 230 cards?
Yeah, it's very strange, though. So, anyways, this factory, obviously probably an inside job, but they need to figure something out. They need to figure something out with their employees. Very, very sad. Very sad. But anyways, guys, the next thing that we're going to be talking about, there may have been $300,000 worth of stuff stolen, but there's over 300 gigabytes of data.
Very nice.
Coming to your computer soon. Unworthy Seraph, what is going on with developers and why is Respawn doing this? I need to respawn a new computer. My computer can't even play this game apart from not having the space.
Minimum spec is a 2080 Ti. I can't play this game either.
Nobody can.
So the game we're talking about is Medal of Honor Above and Beyond, which is a VR title that is coming out next year, I believe.
It's above and beyond a lot. Let's just put it that way.
Above and beyond anything we've ever seen before. So the required disk space to install this game is 340 gigabytes.
Let that sit.
It
for just
it
3
goes
seconds.
down to 170 once it's installed. So but 340. You thought Warzone? You thought Modern Warfare? You thought Cold War was big? Huh? This is nothing. That's nothing.
340. Just let that settle in your mind for a second, okay? You might have a terabyte hard drive and you already can't have
over a third of it.
Warzone or Cold War or Rainbow Six Siege. You can't even probably have Jump King on your computer and this game at the same time. That's insane amounts of space. And not only that, let's take a look at some of the specs that your PC is required to have. You need an Intel i7 9700K or comparable AMD chip. Okay, whatever. 16 gigabytes DDR4 RAM. That's fine as well. NVIDIA GTX 2080, 2080 or higher.
This is minimum.
I
wonder what the recommended is. Polygon.
And not only that, you're thinking of your hard drive space. It's asking that 340 gigabytes free space for installation. SSD recommended. How many people out there have 340 gigabytes free on their SSD card? How many people on their SSD card have 340 gigabytes?
It's not an SSD card.
Or whatever. SSD drive, whatever. Anyways.
You hurt me.
The solid state drive. I get it. But anyways, I just don't understand. We were talking about too much about cars before, but I don't get it. And it's called Medal of Honor Above and Beyond. I'll be honest here. Great name for...
It's above and beyond, all right.
It's above and beyond all of my expectations of what any PC would be able to handle at this rate. So... here's my question. This is going to hurt their sales a lot. Why would they do something like this? They were talking about it in this article. Flight Simulator has this, and it's a scale. There's trillions of trees in the world on that game.
Yeah. So like the thing with Flight Simulator is like, it's not as detailed as it would need to be for an actual game. So yes, it is massive, but like, if you look at all the terrain and stuff up close, like it's really not that great. So like,
right, yeah, it's like Nintendo 64 graphics, but I know, but still,
for this, especially for it being a VR title,
VR.
So like, all those textures need to be top notch, otherwise they're gonna look like trash. I don't know. It seems like a lot. It is very strange though that it's smaller after, because usually the download is smaller and then the install is bigger because you're downloading the compressed files and then you uncompress them. So it is very strange that it's the opposite here. But
yeah,
I'm sure there must be a reason.
There's going to be updates obviously in the future, and hopefully they'll be able to compress that down a little bit. But it's still a lot of space. It's still a lot of space. And also, like I said, I don't know how many people are actually going to be able to play this, because like I said, there's no reason for me to even try and purchase this game because my PC can't even handle it. I'll be honest, there's a lot of people out there, that they have the new graphics cards or the previous, generation, things like that, and they can play it. But there's a lot of people like me that are 4 years behind and don't have the money to be able to purchase a new graphics card right now.
Yeah, I mean, eventually technology has to move forward, and they can't just hold back everything for
this isn't moving forward
able to upgrade. I don't know.
Okay. There's a difference between moving forward with baby steps, and there's a difference between moving forward and just like pulling something out and taking a giant leap. And I feel like this is a giant leap.
We don't know. This could be the best looking game ever yet. We don't know. I mean, that screenshot looks pretty nice. Assuming that's a screenshot. I don't know if it's a screenshot. It's just a picture they have on the article.
It looks great.
Looks nice.
It looks great. Nice. I think I saw that on my PlayStation 3 once.
Image credit, Respawn Entertainment. Thank you, article. Thank you, PC Gamer.
It's probably somebody that drew that and painted, literally, like it's Bob Ross painting. That's what it is.
But yeah. So there's that.
Anyways,
it's giant.
All right, guys, it's time for me to get into my fury of rage. I am upset.
He's upset.
I don't know why this came up out of nowhere today. It seems like developers for games specifically are not creating any new content in my personal opinion, we're seeing a lot of people come out with new games. The new games look good. You got Phoenix Rising just came out. People got, the Cyberpunk game is coming out soon, I believe tomorrow or the next day. And so there's a lot of these games coming out, but like I was just watching a few games and I thought about it today. Genshin Impact, you can play for free, understandable. And Phoenix Rising now, or whatever it's called. Immortal Phoenix Rising? Phoenix Rising Immortal, something like that. Yeah. Something, yeah. So here's my thing. Both of those games look exactly like Breath of the Wild. And I'm not saying like they look like they play like Breath of the Wild. Like they do, but they look exactly like Breath of the Wild. Even like in Immortals Phoenix Rising, I was watching somebody play it today. They essentially have the magnesis. It's not even like, hey, he has a magnet. He literally has two yellow lines, the same exact color from Breath of the Wild. You can't even get your own color. And I don't know. And it seems like everybody's using the old Assassin's Creed model and even Breath of the Wild, you go up to the top of a tower and you essentially synchronize with everything and you open up a part of the map. Where is the new ideas? I want to see something new. What was that game? Godfall that just came out. Mm-hmm. It looks like a really great looking, really low quality story. God of War. Tell me I'm wrong. Even the enemy's health bars, exactly the same thing.
I've not heard very good things about Godfall.
I have not either. The game didn't do well, but I just don't. I don't see any new ideas that are coming out. There's new brandings and things like that, but I'm worried.
So here's my thing. I get what you're saying. I don't think it's as widespread necessarily as you may think. I do think this is something that happens in general, just all the time, and I think it's kind of for a reason, but also people not really having great original ideas. But so just think back recently to like the dawn of battle royales, right? One came out, blew up, and then everybody was like, oh, let's make battle royales,
Yeah.
And to some extent, you can look at that and be like, yeah, no original ideas. But I can appreciate, at least from things like that, where you basically have a flavor for everyone. So like,
yeah,
there's bound to be one that you like. And so like recently, you're talking about, Genshin Impact. It's a Breath of the Wild for anime lovers. Like, sure. Real niche, but there's an audience for sure.
If you guys have played both games, for the first 5 minutes in each game, there is a portion in Breath of the Wild where you walk out into the world for the first time and you step up on this cliff and you see all of Hyrule, and
then you
beautiful.
Hit your mic.
And then I hit my mic, but you see all of Hyrule and all of its glory, right? You have Hyrule Castle being taken over by Calamity Ganon. You have the volcano, right? You have Death Mountain in the background. You have all this beauty. And then Genshin Impact, you step out on a cliff and you see the whole world of Genshin Impact. And it's the same exact thing. The way that even the way it happened, I thought I was playing Breath of the Wild for 2 seconds. And then I realized this is just a Diet Coke. I'll take Winkari, a Diet Coke Breath of the Wild.
Wait, did you actually play Genshin Impact?
For about 6 minutes until I recognized that the first enemy I fought was the first enemy I fought in Breath of the Wild. So I turned it off, and I have not turned it on since. It was a stinking little, what are they called? Choo-choo jellies.
Oh, choo-choo jelly.
Choo jelly. And essentially a little circle popped out of the ground, and I said, okay. And I turned off the game. I've already played this game once, and I'm not going to play a free version of it.
Yeah, I mean, that's fine. going to the tower thing, because I saw somebody mentioned it in the chat. Breath of the Wild's towers were very, very well thought out. So like Assassin's Creed towers, you know, they were like, they just gave you all your map icons and like that was it. You know, the Breath of the Wild towers, you didn't get icons for anything in Breath of the Wild until you actually went there. So even when you get the tower, sure, you get the map data, but you don't have any icons. And then
that is very true.
And then the whole point of the tower to begin with is so you can climb it and then you can see all that's around you. You can be like, I want to go there. I want to do that. Yeah. And then you mark the stuff on your map manually. So it's like, it's explorative. It's putting the power in the player's hands.
And you can travel from there easily.
Yes, they also serve as teleporters. I was going to mention that as well.
Oh, not even teleporters. I'm just saying like I want to go there. I haven't been there yet. You could just jump off.
Oh, yeah. You can glide like Assassin's Creed. Like you just jump straight down into the hay bale. Like, but Breath of the Wild, you can glide there. They serve as teleporters, and then they're also just very, very, very strategically placed. So like they thought through everything. Like there's a clear purpose to the towers. They have a clear identity and reason for being there in the game, and they're well thought out. Whereas Assassin's Creed towers are just like, oh, you climb the thing, you get the map data. That's it. You never have to climb it again, you know? And like you just
yeah, and to be honest, I'm not upset that there's, you know, like, okay, I'm not a big fan of battle royales, but like Sarah said, right, there's a flavor for everybody, right? I even enjoy Warzone, crazy battle royale that I actually enjoy. That's not Tetris 99, right?
Or Mario 35.
Anyway, or Mario. Listen, I played that game for like 6 hours day one. I haven't picked it up since. Anyways, like, I don't know. I'm looking for something new, right? Like the new God of War, right? That was great. I felt like the gameplay was new, the fighting was new, and
Sony does a lot of new stuff.
They do, and I give Sony a lot of credit in that area. Nintendo does a lot of new stuff, although a lot of it is like almost like a reskin type of thing.
But
so,
I
just like Breath of the Wild, right? Brand new gameplay. It was new for the Zelda series. I'm just looking for.
I think the thing with Nintendo is like a lot of their experiences are just so good, and like. Just the fundamentals are so good. So like there's a lot of room to just expand and like just try like slightly different things. And I think that's why they get away with it. And then every now and then, you know, they do a big kind of like rethink with like Breath of the Wild and Super Mario Odyssey that really, really mixes things up. Yeah. But I think it works for Nintendo because like the fundamentals are just so solid, and there's just a lot of room they have to play around with it compared to something like just a generic open world game from Ubisoft. But
for real, dude, I feel like Ubisoft has gone in one direction and they just keep going in that one direction. They're just not stopping. Like, I don't know.
EA's been looking good recently too, to be honest. I mean, we had Jedi Fallen Order, Squadrons. You know, Squadrons is like super niche.
Although Jedi Fallen Order was kind of it was like a Jedi
Dark Souls. Yeah. But it was still really good in its own right. Like, had a great story.
Had a skill tree.
Like, and you can't just making fun Jedi combat. Like, that's not easy.
No, for sure.
It's not easy.
For sure.
So like,
it should be, but it's not.
They definitely took a lot of inspiration from Dark Souls, but the game is still very good in its own right.
Yeah. So I just wanted to get that out there. I'm looking for something new. Maybe it's just me. Maybe I just need something new in my life. I've been playing a lot of Final Fantasy 14, and that's great. And I love the game. New patch came out today, new raids, new content. I'm excited to be able to play that today. But I don't know. I'm looking for something. Something is not being fulfilled inside of me, and I'm looking for it.
I'm hoping we see a lot of new creative ideas come with the next gen consoles because of the new the new loading times specifically. Just being able to stream in a lot of stuff into the game world very, very quickly. I think there's a lot of really cool things you could do with that. just being able to load different scenes and stuff really fast. So I'm hoping we see a lot of new ideas from that. But I mean, I think the new ideas just kind of come up randomly. I mean, you know, we saw it with like survival games back in the day with Minecraft, and like Minecraft was just like super indie, and then it blew up. Like,
yeah, for real.
And then, you know, we got zombie games. Zombie games were all the rage for a while, and everything was like gritty and dark. You know, that even Nintendo, Twilight Princess, even they went for it.
And like, we still have that to an extent.
Sure.
Like The Last of Us, you have Days Gone that just came out a couple of years ago.
But it's not like everything is like that.
No.
Back in the day, everything was like that.
We actually had, guys, before we had YokeTalk or anything, this is the very beginning of God Squad gaming. Like this was, we had 12 people sit down and we streamed it and we talked and we had this discussion about like zombie games and when those were going to go away, and they still haven't. This was 5 years ago. So
yeah. But yeah. So like there's always the trends. It's, I don't know. I feel like right now we're experiencing like just like a mix of a lot of things. So like, I feel like there is like a lot of variety right now in gaming. I definitely get what you're saying, where it feels like things are just really rehashed and like there's not a lot of new ideas. But I like to appreciate the little innovations that happen from title to title.
For sure.
And I haven't played Immortals Fenyx Rising. I haven't really seen anything about it. I started to watch a review about it, and the review basically said it was really, really good. So I was like, okay, instead of watching the review, I'll probably just play it eventually. So I would be excited to see what it did differently, even if it is a lot like Breath of the Wild. Like, I'm down for that. I love Breath of the Wild.
I heard it's like a kind of like a clean version of Assassin's Creed, and not only that, like the other thing that I heard, which is unfortunate because I love puzzles in gaming, like The Witness. I loved The Witness. I didn't play all the way through it. I got really frustrated on stream one time, and unfortunately I do not have PlayStation Plus anymore, so I locked my game. But anyways, because I only had it for free and it's still $40 to buy it. But great puzzles though, and this game unfortunately has great everything. But then the puzzles were very basic, going through the movements, they said, and it's not a puzzle. It's just do this and you. I mean,
Breath of the Wild's puzzles weren't anything fantastic either.
Some of the shrines, some of them, I was like,
some of them were a little stumpy.
How?
But a lot of them were just like, you put the thing on the thing and it does a thing. I was like,
yeah. So. Anyways, but moving forward, that was just a little topic I had. Guys, Game Awards is Thursday.
Wait, we forgot about the literal brick.
Oh, the literal brick.
The literal brick.
Guys, this is literally going to be a 2-second thing. Somebody, okay, so the last time consoles came out, I'll give you guys an update of kind of what happened this time.
I want a picture.
When the Xbox One came out, somebody bought a picture of the Xbox One instead of an actual Xbox One for like $800 or more or something like that. He bought a picture and it said it in the description. I even saw this year, I went onto eBay, it said PlayStation box for $900. People are really getting crazy. Now the person that bought the picture, Xbox felt bad for them, sent them a real Xbox. Give me a break. They shouldn't have done that. You should have read the description. I'll get off to that. Somebody bought on eBay a PlayStation 5. Now, granted, it did not label this in the description, but he received, instead of a PlayStation 5, a literal concrete block. A block of concrete. I don't know how much it cost to send this block of concrete, but when he picked it up, it probably is about it's not the same. Let's be honest here. A PlayStation 5 is only like 10 pounds. A block of concrete, you're looking at 20 pounds here.
It depends on how big of the concrete, you know.
That's very true. But he bought, unfortunately, I believe it was, what was it? An $878 block of concrete.
Which is actually pretty cheap. compared to the prices that a lot of them are going for secondhand.
Not concrete PlayStation
no, not
5s.
that, but yeah.
When you saw
maybe that's why it was so cheap.
Yeah, I mean, and so it was a scalper.
You know what would be hilarious if it was a piece of concrete shaped like a PS5?
That would have been, listen,
that would be hilarious.
I'd keep that.
Right?
I'd
be like, I want my money back, but I'm keeping this.
Yeah. So anyways, the guy did get his money back. They found out about it and everything. And so obviously that happened, but I just found that kind of funny that literally people were calling the PlayStation 5 a brick because one person's PlayStation 5 like froze one time. It's a bricked console. This person actually literally got a brick. And I thought that was kind of hilarious. So
don't break your console.
That happened. Don't break your consoles, guys, like this guy did. Anyways, moving forward, we have the Game Awards coming up on Thursday. And I have 2 questions for you, Seraph, before we move on. I have 2 questions. I'm going to ask you, what is your game of the year from the list of game of the years? And I'll give the list in a second for you guys. But I also want you to think about what is your game of the year apart from this list. So that's the 2 questions. So you can think about that. But guys, Game Awards is on Thursday. We're thinking about possibly doing a special YokeTalk. Now, what time is the Game Awards at?
There's like a pre-show thing that starts at 6 that I kind of wanted to watch because the AMD CEO is going to be a part of it. So that's kind of cool. But I think the actual thing starts at 7.
Okay, because I do have a group at 9 o'clock.
Gotcha. That might not work. We'll see.
Might not, but we'll see. So anyways, guys, let me give you the list of, and now there's obviously hundreds. There's seriously like 25 to 30 categories of game of the year. I feel like they should simplify it. That's just me. But anyways, game of the year, the nominees are Doom Eternal, which, by the way, you can get for $1 right now. If you get the Xbox Game Pass for $1 for the next 3 months, you can play Doom Eternal and other great games as well, apparently. So just throw it out there. I'm not a Microsoft fan, but you really, it's $1. Like you can't, and there's some really good titles on there too right now. Doom Eternal being one of them. Final Fantasy VII Remake, Ghost of Tsushima, Hades, Animal Crossing, New Horizons, The Last of Us Part 2. Now, I'm going to ask you a third question, actually. What do you think is going to win?
Okay.
So
what was the first one?
First one is out of this list, what is your game of the year?
So it's funny. The only one that I've played is Animal Crossing.
Oh, man, I knew it.
So
now, to be fair, I do want to say this. The Game Awards, the Game Awards are picked by the people. So you can vote for your game right now on this site. And Thursday, it will be what everybody voted for. That's a fan.
I wanted there to be a quarantine category. And then Animal Crossing wins that hands down.
Killed it. But yeah, so
I think it'd be hilarious if Animal Crossing won. But that's actually the only game from this list that I've played. Like, Doom Eternal is not really my thing. I would be down to play the Final Fantasy VII Remake, but I don't have a PlayStation. Definitely down to play Ghost of Tsushima, but no PlayStation. Hades, not really my thing. Last of Us Part 2, meh. So, like, I would have played, like, 2 more, but...
Okay. So I only played 2 of these games, actually, and I'm gonna kind of talk about that comment that Jelly put in here. Unpopular opinion, remasters shouldn't be in consideration for Game of the Year. I want to touch on that. This is not a remaster.
Yeah.
Final Fantasy VII was a remake, completely different game, completely different storyline. I mean, they completely...
Was the story different, really?
They said they were going to make the storyline different. And to be honest, the end of it, I have no idea where they're going with this.
Wow.
No stinking idea. Now, to generally, yes, there was very similar portions to the game, but it was a remake. It was not. It wasn't a remaster. And so
this is the most different remake there has ever been for a game, like
ever. And honestly, I'm going to say this. It was not Final Fantasy VII. It just wasn't. No. So I'm okay with this. Like if they put something else that was a remaster on here, sure, I would agree with that. But this was a completely different game in every way, shape, and form. So I actually voted for Final Fantasy VII Remake. I did play Animal Crossing as well. But that I kind of fell off that run really quick. I enjoyed Final Fantasy VII Remake, I think, more than I did Animal Crossing. Ghost of Tsushima, I would love to play. Haven't yet. Doom Eternal. I'm thinking about getting that Xbox Game Pass just to try it out. Hades, once again, not my thing. And Last of Us Part 2. I'm not even going to go into my thoughts because that will be another hour. But not Game of the Year. And I do think this will be my second question. I do think Animal Crossing New Horizons is going to win.
I would be so down for that.
I wouldn't be down for it. And the reason why is because it shouldn't win, but it's going to because of COVID.
I'm down for that.
More people have Animal Crossing now just because of COVID-19. So I think Animal Crossing is going to win.
Let's go. I'm down.
I really do. I really do think that's going to happen. I don't think The Last of Us Part 2 has a chance. If I thought any other game had a chance, I would say Ghost of Tsushima. Those are the two games that I would say are probably going to win. But what do you think is going to win?
Yeah, I would say I think Animal Crossing has a good chance. I think it'd be hilarious if it won. I think Final Fantasy VII and Ghost of Tsushima have a really good chance. I think it'd be really cool if Hades won, just because it's like an indie game.
That a lot of people
really like. So like I said, not my kind of game, but if it was, like I'd be all over it. Like
I haven't even watched it. Like I have no idea.
It's like a roguelike, kind of like like Binding of Isaac or something like that.
Okay, that's interesting.
Yeah. So. Yeah, I don't think Doom Eternal has enough to like warrant it for Game of the Year. And then Last of Us Part 2 is Last of Us Part 2. It had a very like conflicted reception in general. So I would be surprised if that won.
Yeah, there's a lot of people are giving it 10 out of 10. So if it didn't get a 10 out of 10, it got like a 3 out of 10 because the story was just trash, I heard. But I mean, the gameplay of the original Last of Us was great. And the way that I heard it was that Last of Us 2, it was just more of the Last of Us. It was just the story wasn't good. Okay. You know, Last of Us gameplay, though, was really, really good. So I enjoyed it.
Yep. So maybe we'll do a YokeTalk stream of the Game Awards. Maybe not. Maybe I'll just stream it by myself. I don't know.
Real quick, though. What is your game of the year?
My game of the year. I feel like most of the games that I played this year
were from a couple years ago.
Like I played Jedi Fallen Order this year, and that was fantastic.
Okay.
That was fantastic. I mean,
that's in some of the categories, actually. So.
I played SpongeBob. That was fun. But I mean, I love Warzone, but that came out last year.
Oh, that's true. That's true.
So, okay. And like I got like Mario 3D All-Stars, but obviously that's a barely even a remaster. It's kind of like a re-release. Yeah. So like,
yeah. That wouldn't be.
I didn't play. I don't usually play a lot of like new games because I think I have a really, really good understanding of like what my taste is for games, and I can usually be like, yeah, I would enjoy that, or no, I wouldn't enjoy that. So like, because I only have a limited amount of time and a limited amount of money to play and buy games, I usually just go for the ones that I know I'm gonna like.
That makes sense. For me, I play a lot of Final Fantasy 14, and I would love to put that as my game of the year because I play it a lot. But
and then I'm always playing Warframe. Sorry,
MMOs will never win game of the year because it's an ongoing experience. So I would probably have to say the Final Fantasy VII Remake. It's just such a well done game. I did play a lot of new games this year. I played Paper Mario Origami King, which by the way was trash. Yeah, I didn't like it. Animal Crossing New Horizons.
Do you still have it? I enjoyed it. Did you get rid of time.
I still have it. I thought about selling it though. Not gonna lie, a few times. Three Houses. No, that was last year that came out. That was last year.
Yeah, I think so.
That wasn't this year. So, but yeah. Somebody I never played Ashes of Creation. But
did you finish Three Houses?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Cool.
Yeah, I didn't finish it on stream. I just finished it off stream. It was great. Honestly, it was a fun game. But yeah, so
that's that.
So anyways,
we'll see what we do for Thursday, if anything. But
okay.
And then
do we want to get?
We have.
Yeah, I was about to say I didn't think this was going to go that long.
Right.
But, so maybe next week, because today's only the 8th. Next week we have it's going to be more Christmassy, right?
Yes.
People are still, saying, "Oh, it's not Christmas time yet." Listen, we should have Christmas all year round. We need Joy-Cons, and free Smash,
and we need Melee.
We need Melee. This is what we need in our life. Not to go back to our first point, but
completely off the rails from what you originally said, but I loved it. That was fantastic.
I'm glad you loved it. But yeah, a lot of people are talking about how Christmas is not Christmas time yet. You shouldn't be wearing your Christmas hat. Why do you have a Christmas tree out, Seraph? Like, there are still people like that. Listen, okay? You can't just bring out your Christmas tree on Christmas Day. You just can't do that. You got to get in the spirit of Christmas, right? We had snow in Virginia yesterday. It wasn't a lot. It's already melted. I'm okay with that because I'm from Connecticut. I've seen enough snow to last 15,000 lifetimes.
I was so happy for the snow yesterday.
But we had a nice little
I didn't know it was even supposed to snow yesterday. So I literally just woke up and walked downstairs and looked out my back door. And I was like, what the heck? Because it was snowing and there was snow on the ground.
Texted me.
I was so happy.
I had already been up for an hour, and now I'm a true gamer. Okay, the shades in my house are closed. All the doors are closed. I didn't see nothing. I took a shower.
I was awake for probably 45 minutes before I went downstairs and saw it.
I went to go sit down at my computer, and I got a text from Seraph that said it's snowing. And I looked outside. I was like, wow, it's snowing pretty hard too.
It wasn't snowing hard.
At one point, it was coming down pretty quickly.
And then it melted by noon. I was so sad.
Yeah, it all melted.
But it stuck for a little while, and it was pretty.
Like I said, I'm okay with it because I've just seen feet upon feet upon feet of snow. Living in Connecticut for my whole life until this past year, so I'm all set with snow. I'm good. I'm good for 2 years.
That is all the time we have today, guys. Like he was saying, we'll talk a little bit more about Christmas in the coming weeks as we approach closer.
New Year's. There's a new year coming.
We'll have a YokeTalk in between Christmas and New Year's.
Everybody said 2020 hindsight this was gonna be the year. 2021 hindsight, guys.
2021
next year's the year.
Next year's the year.
I don't know if that's how it works. I don't think it is.
I guess we'll see, guys. That's going to do it for us here at the YokeTalk podcast. Join us again next week for who knows what kind of stuff. That's about it. Yeah. I mean, I'd ask you if you have any last words, but I think you already said them.
I love all you Yokers out there. You guys have a wonderful rest of your week, and we'll update you guys on Twitter on whether we are going to be doing something special on Thursday night. So stay tuned for that.
All righty, guys. We'll see you back next week. We love you guys. Take care, Yokers.